Ahava blessings. Welcome to this episode of Embodying the Shekhinah. This podcast is here to support and guide us during these times of heightened awakening, ascension, activating energies in order for us to remember, embody, integrate our soul essence. I am your host. My name is Aurea. I am an ordained Magdalene priestess, Reiki master, energy and sound healer. And I'm very excited to be sharing this episode with you. This episode is about the Winter Solstice. It's the penultimate episode of this 2024. In the next one, I will share the energies of 2025. But let's focus on the Winter Solstice. There are different cycles that we work with. If we follow the traditions of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene and the great teachers and mystics of the Hebrew Judaic lineage, of the Desert Rose teachings, the mystery teachings, the Chokhmah traditions. And the cycles we work with are the cycles of fire, which are the days of the week. And these are the energies and the frequencies of creation, of which every day is aligned with an Aramaic creation frequency, an Aramaic letter that gifts that day specific qualities and characteristics and energies that are meant to support us in creating, in co-creating actually, because we are in constant co-creation with the divine. Then there are the water cycle, which is the cycle of the moon, and this is the lunar phases, the new moon, the full moon, the quarter moon, the waning, the waxing moons, and these also lend another layer of frequencies that we work with. And then there is the frequencies of the earth, and that is the nature frequencies. So it would be the changing of the seasons, the summer solstice, winter solstice, the equinoxes, autumnal and the vernal, the spring equinox, and those add the layer of working with the earth. And then there are the air frequencies, which are the zodiacal frequencies. And the zodiacal frequencies, we begin with the new moon, going into the lunar cycle, and then phasing in through the full moon, into the waning, and into another cycle that is also ruled by a different Aramaic frequencies, because each zodiacal frequency, each of these air frequencies, they are not only ruled by the letter that created that zodiacal frequency, but also by the planetary frequency that comes into the mix there. And then there's the ether cycle, which is the celestial realms, working with the archangels and the higher frequencies. So that being said, these are the cycles of creation that we as human beings are in a constant interplay with. We're in a constant cosmic dance of creation, of co-creation with the divine frequencies. And the winter solstice is the one that is aligned with the shortest day, with the earth, one of the earth cycles, and it is coming and basically getting us ready to step into Capricorn season, zodiacally, with the new moon in Capricorn. So there's a lot that has been coming through. I am pretty much fresh off of a pilgrimage, and I visited many sacred sites in the Iberian Peninsula, and there was a lot of clearing, and I also was part of a retreat with my wonderful teacher Anna in the south of Spain. So that was in some magical people, and we actually had 4 men, well, 3 that actually participated in the circle, in the retreat, but my beloved was also with us. So technically there were 4 divine masculine emanations that were serving to protect and anchor the frequencies that us priestesses were bringing in. So it was very powerful and very beautiful, and we don't usually have 4 divine masculine energies in the room, and it was really beautiful to be able to co-create the magic and the power and the healing and the activations of that retreat with everyone there. So if you guys are listening, you guys are all in my heart, and I'm so happy to have been able to share that space with you, and I cannot wait to share more space with you in person. So this solstice is happening on the 21st, and it's happening at 4:21 a.m. in Eastern Time Zone. Western Pacific Time Zone, it is 1:21 a.m. So in the wee hours of the morning of the 21st. And if we go into the Central European Time, it is at 9:21. In the UK, it would be 8:21 in the morning. So UK, Ireland. So there's a lot with this energy, because if you're like me, you're highly sensitive and you feel everything. Now I know that us that went through the purification of the retreat, we just experienced it to a whole nth degree. The tiredness, the activations, the revelations, everything that came through. However, because it's not just when you're doing sacred circle, sacred work, that these activations come through. These activations are also coming through because they are in the field. The awakening of the dragon lines, the ley lines, the solar flares coming into the Earth's magnetic sphere, all of these energies are serving to awaken people. And sometimes awakening is not easy. Oftentimes it's not easy. For some people, your life may be completely shaken to its foundation, maybe even deeper. Maybe you need to rebuild your foundation. So you're really getting shook up on every level. And this is a very potent and powerful time to go within, as we have been coming into less and less and less daylight, so less and less light, because we're going within. We're going, and on the winter solstice, we're at the point of the lowest amount of light. And it is because this is the time for us to go within. This is the time for us to be aligning with the cosmic womb, with the void, with the Avun, with the quantum field of infinite possibilities. So of course this solstice, it occurs at 0 degrees, and 0 is the nothing, the void. It is the space that basically holds all permutations, all possibilities, everything that has, will be, was created, everything exists in that moment. So it's a very powerful time to be going within. Now, a lot of us have family obligations, we have parties we attend. This is also it's interesting, because as a society, it's a time to basically be outward, be in everyone's face, be partying, be doing this, be with family, be, buying gifts, be celebrating. And on a spiritual level, it's the opposite. On a spiritual level, it's the time to go within. It's the time to be quiet. It's the time to cultivate and nourish stillness. It's the time to really reflect on where you are at and what it is that you wish to birth, because this portal has to do with conceiving the light conception. And Mother Mary, Mother Anna, the mother of Mary, Mother Anna, Elizabeth, the mother of John the Baptist, Yohanan, many, and actually we can go into Maya, who birthed Gautama Buddha, Siddhartha. It is said that Kuan Yin was birthed from Immaculate Conception. This light conception is a concept that was very familiar to the ancients, because they were well versed with the mysteries. They knew the techniques to bring down higher wisdom and to embody a ascended master type light beings in human form so they could teach them. They could become incarnate and teach the community what was needed in that time. And of course, a lot of these high holy teachers, light beings, were persecuted, and a lot died early. And what's interesting is that was part of their mission. There was an aspect of their incarnation that knew that time would be short, but it was okay because they themselves were so elevated that they could transmit information on a quantum level very quickly. So they didn't really need more time here. And it's very interesting that Yeshua's birthday was changed from around September in Virgo season when he would have been born, because these beings that practice light conception, they worked with the cycles, and Virgo was the first sign of the zodiac. It now is Aries. So it's interesting to note how the historical aspect of certain traditions that became religion and dogma really were quite different from what we see and what we experience. So this has been a time for me when I have been called to really go into stillness and to go within. Normally, I am, and I've been listening, which sometimes I have not been very good at doing, because I'm more of a, no, things have to get done. What I'm noticing is that the deeper I go into this spiritual work, the deeper I go into the mysteries, the more that I am willing to let go of whatever my egoic mind thinks needs to be done, and really trust the divine energies that are guiding me. And so I normally post much more often on YouTube, on Instagram, and since I got back, it's been like, okay, you need to be still. You need to be still. And there are certain commitments that, like this podcast that I'm honored to be sharing. So the certain things still are getting done, things that are absolutely necessary, but yet other things I'm like, no, now is the time to be in concealment. Hence why I haven't really been showing my face on social media. So it's been quite a ride. And the energy for this winter solstice really is one of knowing, of trust is one. Trusting whatever is happening in your life. Of letting go of victim mode. Wherever something is going awry, now even though the tendency, and it's simply just something that we're wired to be because of society, because of family, etc. So it's not a judgment, it's not a shaming or blaming, and we shouldn't be doing that to ourselves anyway. It's simply an acknowledgement. The tendency is to think that you did something wrong, that there is something fundamentally screwed up in you, in your life, which is why everything went wonky. And that's not it. The higher realms work energetically. And the pure light of creation, the higher frequencies, cannot come in to a vessel that is chock full of stuff it doesn't need. So we may be being is going on and you feel lost. And it's natural and completely within the human experience of emotions to feel this way. It is also up to us to decide how we navigate the circumstances. The old program, the program that has been cemented again and again within us, is guilt, shame, blame, unworthiness, a feeling of not being good enough. And when something bad happens, we revert back to, oh, this must be true about me. I must not be good enough. I must not be talented enough. I must whatever, etc. We know that litany. Cancel, clear, delete that litany. But we are at a point where we are truly seeing that way of being no longer serves us. It doesn't no longer serve us. It no longer serves humanity. As a collective, we've been stuck in this reactionary, thank you, plane. We've been stuck in this reactionary loop, and we've been stuck in this woe is me, in this fight or flight. We've been stuck in these lower frequencies because we didn't know any better. And yet now we have the opportunity. Now we have the opportunity to truly choose and in full awareness decide what we wish to align to. Decide the frequencies we wish to cement on this earth, and decide to help the flow. So if you find that things are being cleansed, purified, eclipsed, etc. out of your life, and it's also Mercury retrograde. So there's also a deep tendency for us to want to go backwards because it's what feels safe. But remember, we haven't learned what true safety is, because all of society is conditioned to think that safety is dependent on a job, on status, on family, on being married or not married, etc. That's not true safety. True safety is a knowing that you are interconnected with everyone, everything, with the divine, everything. You are creation. You are a spark of the divine in a human form. Your truth is you are infinite. The body is finite. This human experience is what is finite. Therefore, the limitations we put on ourselves are not real. So we are coming face to face during this time of going within, during this winter solstice, with what is our true nature and what is the illusions of the 3D matrix, the illusions that we decided to partake in until we knew it was time to evolve beyond it. Now, how do we know? If your life has been a series of falling apart and coming together, you've been on this path. If right now you feel that your life is falling apart, you are on the path. If right now you feel that certain things are together but certain things are not, you're on the path. So right now, if you are aligning with the infinite light, if you are seeking out wisdom, if you are integrating wisdom, if you are choosing to embody and to look beyond what the physical realm tells us, it's not a bad thing. Everything happens for a reason. This is where our choice comes in. So things are going awry, or maybe some things are not happening the way we think they should. It's time to take a step back and truly go within and just be. That's all we need to do. We need to be. And being is a receptive state of mind, a state of being, a state of openness. We cannot receive the light. We cannot conceive the light if we are not seeking, if we are not cultivating humility, if we are not cleansing and purifying, because this is the other thing that has been coming in. The body needs to be purified. There has been so much manipulation of what we consider food and water, etc. I'm not even going to get into it because everyone has to do their own research, and that is part of everyone's path that they have to come to terms with. What I will say is this: it's very important how we take care of our bodies, and just because a certain way of eating, working out, has been working for us does not mean that it is supporting us in this moment or in every moment or maybe 20 years from now. So we must learn how to be flexible in our relationship to the nourishment, the protection, the activation of our physical body, because the physical body is the vessel through which you are conceiving and delivering and sharing the light. And the light is your soul. The light is Shekhinah. The light is the divine. So Mary and grandmother Anna, and even Joaquin, her consort, her husband, and Joseph for Mary, they were all highly advanced practitioners of mystery teachings. They would do practices, they would pray, they would fast, they would meditate, etc. And they did these practices in many different forms. They drummed, they chanted. It took various forms, and they were always doing this. They were always in that purification process, in that calling in the light. So this is also very important for us to do. Have a practice that you love, and at the same time that you have a practice that you love, a spiritual practice, a meditation practice, a sound healing practice, a walk in nature, whatever it is, a combination of all of the above, chanting, dancing, sacred movement, etc., sound healing, mantras, mudras, all of that, which this is what I do and it's what I love. So even as you have your practice, it's important not to fall into the trap of thinking that we must do all of that every day for the rest of our lives. It's important to be flexible, to be flexible, and not in a way that is lazy or, kind of complacent. We decided we wanted to goof off, so now, oh yeah, I don't need to do my practices. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is feeling into the cycle and the energy of that moment and fine-tuning your practice. So if a couple of things need to be focused on and other things may not be, that's okay. But we must learn how to dance, how to consciously co-create with the cycles, with what is happening around us. So this, as I mentioned, we're going into we're going into Capricorn season on the solar level. We are going into the depths of winter. So for a few days, the sun will seem to be still, and then it will begin to rise, and we will receive more daylight. So we are in that womb. We are in choose our alignment, we choose our frequency. We decide what it is that needs to be shed and what it is that needs to be brought in. What it is, how best can we align with the energies of the infinite creation, with the frequencies of light that are wishing to be birthed through us. How are we creating the space to nurture those seeds? We have a beautiful trine between Jupiter and Venus. Jupiter represents your soul that is unencumbered by the physical body, while the moon represents your earthly incarnation in your physical form. So the soul in the body, or as much of the soul that is in the body, because some people are not, their soul isn't fully in the body, is represented by the moon. Jupiter is your soul in its infinite form that is just all that is. And Jupiter, that's Jupiter. And Venus is the planet of fertility and abundance and love, but it's the planet of creation. It's the planet that is aligned with the Garden of Eden, with the frequencies of harmony, beauty, expansion, abundance. And when I speak of abundance, I mean abundance on multiple levels. It's not just abundance on a financial level. Abundance really is all around us. Abundance of health, of relationships, of beauty, of harmony, abundance of peace, abundance of money and resources, of course, abundance of friendships, abundance of opportunities. All of this is available to us. It's a matter of whether we are actively doing the work to purify and prepare the space for these manifestations to be seeded into the physical realm. Because they cannot be seeded if the vessel is full of all kinds of gunk. It just does not work. So now is the time to work on learning how to be in stillness, learning how to let go. This has taken me years to do, to be able to let go and to flow, to not allow myself to be dogmatic in my approach, to be so narrow and rigid that all I see is what a horse sees with its blinders. Because there's so much more to the field of vision, things that we don't even see in the physical realm, because they exist in other realms, that we cannot see, but they are there. So just because we don't see it does not mean it's not there. It's the same with our manifestations. Just because we have not physicalized that manifestation does not mean it's not already in the ethers on its way. The key is, are we continuing to do the purification? Are we continuing to align ourselves? Are we continuing to choose the frequency that is in alignment with what we are calling in? That's the work. Are we continuing to be in harmony, in grace, in love? Are we continuing to open the heart? Are we continuing to explore those parts of the self that we've hid and that we've exiled, like the Shekhinah and the feminine has been exiled? Are we willing to bring those parts of us back into sacred union, into divine union? Are we willing to integrate those parts of ourselves where our true magic and our true power lay, or lie, you know what I'm saying? So we are experiencing a lot of energy. So if you need to rest, please rest. Please prioritize your well-being. I know some of us are going through a hard time with parents, with family, with all kinds of stuff happening. Nurture yourself, even if it's for a few moments a day. exhaust themselves emotionally and spiritually. Men exhaust themselves physically, because men are of the physical. And I do want to, I guess I'm going to mention that. Sorry, I just have this, the spirit is telling me to share this. So men also need to nourish themselves. So sometimes it may just be silence. It may be they need to go for a run, because men get overwhelmed too. It's not just us ladies. Us ladies do get overwhelmed on multiple levels, and sometimes it may be easier to just overwhelm ourselves on the physical, but it's not good to overwhelm yourself on any level. So my divine masculines, please nourish yourselves in ways that are healthy, in ways that are loving, in ways that nurture your soul. And I know that sounds airy-fairy and fluffy, because men like to be tangible, and they like to do, and they like to protect, and you guys get me. But you also need to nurture your heart. The men need to nurture their heart, because men have a beautiful heart. And I'm specifically thinking of all the divine masculines that have shown up, that are just magnificent in how they serve and protect the feminine. It's really amazing, and that's what I was being called to share with the 4 divine masculines that came forward in the retreat, and I'm seeing it more and more. I'm seeing that the role of the masculine, and this was true, and it's coming through as being true during the biblical times, with Mary, Joseph, with Joaquin, Elizabeth, Anna, and they were more than husbands. They were consorts. They were protectors, because so these women, these priestesses, and those of us who are priestesses now, we are in that role now. We are the vessels that hold and contain and share the light. The masculine also is a vessel for the light. However, the masculine's role is more of a protector in the physical realm of the feminine. So I was watching that Netflix movie on Mary, and that's still bringing in the light. That's still aligning yourself with the care and the nurturing of those lives that you are responsible for. So it's wonderful when we have a powerful emanation of the divine masculine holding us. And it's powerful when we ourselves recognize that energy within us and choose to, when it's best for us to be in the masculine and to be in the feminine. That to say, we all have a unique mission, and we are all doing it to the best of our ability. Let's not fall into the trap of judging, of blaming, of shaming, of thinking we're not good enough. Because remember, all of that is an illusion. Now is the time for you to align with the light, align with your soul. Be in stillness as much as you can, even if it's for a few minutes, even if it's just doing that sound meditation that is the companion to this. Whatever it is that you need to do it. Even if it's for a few minutes, because it is important. You are important. You are here birthing that infinite light of creation. You are here anchoring those frequencies. We need you. And we are grateful for you. If you have not been told thank you, thank you. Because I know that I'm not the only one that is out here doing this work. I know there are many of us. And what's most important is not what we do when the cameras are on or when we are in front of other people. What's most important is what we do when we are in our own space, when we are by ourselves. Are we aligning with the light then? Or are we talking badly about ourselves? And we don't want to be talking badly about ourselves, because remember, every cell in your body is listening. Every cell in your body is listening to the thoughts. The thoughts in your mind are vibrations. They are frequencies, just as the words that are coming out of my mouth through my vocal cords are frequencies. They hold codes. So your words, your thoughts, your emotions, all are important. Cultivate emotional clarity, cultivate mental clarity. Drink nourishing foods, eat nourishing foods. Drink plenty of water. Now is a good time to be drinking lots and lots of water, because we need to purify. And drink water with lemon and some Celtic sea salt, because I've noticed that the more that especially while I was on pilgrimage, I was craving salt. Salt is a mineral that balances your electrolytes, but salt also is found in seawater. What were we birthed from? The amniotic fluid in the womb is salty. So take this time to nourish yourself. This is a powerful time to seed intentions. But before you seed intentions, do what you need to do to see what needs to be cleared, what needs to be purified. And you know what? It's Mercury retrograde. We're, I think, in the shadow phase right now. So it may be that you're feeling the pull to go back to old patterns. Don't fall into those traps. Ask yourself, is this in alignment with the light? Is this in alignment with the highest expression of my soul, with the embodiment of my soul? Is this in alignment with the divine? If it's not serving that higher purpose, I recommend that you rethink if that's really what you wish to align with. Because it really is. I don't want to say we're in a war, but however, we are in a time where it's not a physical war, even though it's manifesting as physical war in certain parts. It's a frequency, energetic skirmish. And we're all really being called to realign constantly and to really anchor ourselves in the infinite light, anchor ourselves in goodness, anchor ourselves in love, anchor ourselves in truth, in wisdom, cultivate those aspects of ourselves. This is how we birth the light. This is how we cement this new frequency onto the earth. And the earth herself is going through this process. This is why there's stuff happening all over the earth. There's volcanoes erupting. I believe there was a tsunami. There's the Valencia floods. There's a lot of purification happening. Support your body as it's doing the same. Nourish yourself. And always come back into alignment, because your frequency is the most important thing. Your energy, the energetic imprints that you are awakening and aligning to in your energy field, is what is anchoring in that light. So take the time to go within, really nourish yourself, and be gentle and slow. You don't have to do everything right now. And if you're confused as to what needs to take priority, tune into your heart. Take a couple deep breaths into the heart, into the womb, and ask, is this what I need to do right now? Out of these three things, what is it that is the most important? And listen. Your intuition is talking to you in dreams, in signs, in people that just pop up out of nowhere and say something and you're like, whoa, where did that come from? That's the divine. That's your intuition. That's those higher frequencies talking to you. Listen. Be in stillness. Listen. Allow yourself to receive. So have a blessed solstice, wonderful, happy Christmas, beautiful Hanukkah, the festival of lights. And I will see you all in the next episode, in the sound activation, and then in the episode on the rundown of 2025. So don't forget to tune in. If you enjoyed this, like, share, subscribe, follow. I can't remember. I think you subscribe to a podcast. All things. I do appreciate your listening. Share. You can follow me on social media at Aurea and at Embodying the Shekhinah in the show notes. You can also find me on YouTube, Aurea, and I will be more diligent once we get through this phase of this inward energy. I will be posting more. And if you are in Los Angeles in February, or you wish to come to Los Angeles in February, come to the Conscious Life Expo. We are going to have a wonderful variety of healers, of channelers, of mystics, of amazing people, amazing healers, and amazing gifted people like myself that will be speaking, sharing our wisdom. You can check the link in the bio, in the show notes, so you can learn more about the Conscious Life Expo and what's going on. I am going to be sharing a wonderful workshop on attuning yourself to the frequency of your soul. So I do welcome you, and I hope that you join me. And don't forget, will have a booth as well. So don't forget to come over and say hello. I believe my booth is 204. So if you're coming to the Conscious Life Expo, follow me on social media, and definitely send me a shout and let me know that you are coming, because I would love to actually see some of you in person. Have a blessed winter solstice, a blessed day of the goddess. Happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah, and allow yourself to align and attune to the infinite light that is your soul. Blessings, Ahava.